here today to do my September TBR. I'm doing fairly informally this month, just because I'm in the mood for informal. So, my first book I want to tell you about that I'm reading in September is A Single Thread by Tracey Chevalier. This is for the Booktube Prize, and I'm not allowed to talk about it in really any other capacity other than to say what it's about. So it's about Violet Speedwell, who is a late 30s spinster, and about her kind of process of moving out of her home with her mother, out on her own post World War I, and all the repercussions of that on her as a woman, as a single woman in that time, and her interest in learning about the embroidery at Westminster Cathedral and the embroiderers who work on the cushions and the kneelers for the presbytery, and also the bells. So that is one book I'm reading for Booktube Prize, and then the other one is Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo, which follows 12 different characters. I believe they are all part of a play or something like connected around theater, but I haven't read a lot about this book because there's a ton of hype out there. There are a ton of reviews. There's a ton of everything. And for me, it's better if I don't know too much about these books before I go into them. So yeah, it's kind of a multiple perspective story. So that's what I'm going with for that one. For my non-Booktube Prize reading, I'm reading The 12 Rooms of the Nile by Enid Shomer. And this is a historical fiction, speculative fiction about Gustave Flaubert and Florence Nightingale. And this book is when they were both traveling down the Nile at the same time. It proposes that perhaps they met and they had a friendship. And so that is what this book is about. I have already started reading it, but I'm not very far in. And I'm excited. I'm just interested in reading it. I think it's a bit more of a light read, nothing too heavy. It is quite long though. It's over 400 pages. So because of that, I've kind of reduced my overall TBR this month because I didn't want to put too much pressure on myself to try to read, too many books. Continuing on with my 1970s project, and I apologize, I did have a comment. Some people, of course, who are maybe new followers, don't know about my 1970s project. So this is a project in which I picked 10 books written during the 1970s that I wanted to read because I feel like I have an affinity for fiction that was published during that time. And so The Conservationist by Nadine Gordimer won the Booker, co-won the Booker. And it was published in 1975. So this is my 1975 read. This is a South African story. It follows a farmer and the reclaiming of his land, I believe. So basically, covering, life for white settlers in South Africa during the 1970s. So I'm interested. I have a South African connection to my family. My husband was born in South Africa, so this is an area that I am interested in learning more about the history of and reading more literature from South Africa. And the only other book I've read from South Africa was A Blade of Grass, I really enjoyed that one. And then for Read More German Books 2020, I have picked The End of Days by Jenny Erpenbeck. Jenny Erpenbeck, I have heard her name many, many, many times. She is kind of, I believe, a German lit darling. So I wanted to check out her work and see if it's something that I am interested in reading. And it was translated by Susan Bernofsky. And this book is, I believe, 6 or 7 different scenarios for an unnamed narrator. 6 or 7 different ways that she dies, and we kind of go through and explore these different possibilities for her life and what she could have been, or there seems to be kind of a mysterious aspect to it as well. So yeah, very curious to read this one. And for now, that is my TBR. It is possible that I can add some other books onto there for September. As I said, the reason I've just been feeling a little bit not in a zone of reading the way I was in August. I think I was kind of a reading machine in August, and I was just reading and reading and reading. And September traditionally is a very challenging month. Obviously, my kids are going back to school. I'm going to be working at my workplace the 3 days a week instead of 1 day at the workplace and 2 days from home. And I'm also just feeling a little bit low energy this month so far. Just feeling like I need to not put a lot of pressure on my reading. So those will be my 5 books for September, and I will check in with you again. I hope you all have a great reading month, and thanks so much for watching.